Hey guys, my name's John Pearson, and this is the end has pretty much become my Bible. This is the original composition. I didn't personally like it. I didn't like that you start on this side over here, because I want to be walking down here like a badass, ready to fight disarm. Into this as well as a sort of concept that I wanted to integrate into this level. It's got sort of a foggy, misty sort of effect, and you walk down into it. Originally, you start on like a twirling staircase, and then you walk down towards this focal point. Last semester, Mike said to me, I've approached it with unique sculpts, and this isn't necessarily the best approach, and I agree with him. He showed me paneling, like the 4 sets and stuff, and showed me like keeping it to the grid, so all of these will snap nicely. They're also clearly reusable tiles, so you could use an atlas with it. This is great for a sci-fi environment, but I'm not sure how well it would have worked in the environment I used. I used it a little bit, but not as much as I probably should have. Because this is sci-fi, I looked into something that was more towards what I was trying to make. This guy came up. This is how he built the wall and the floor panels. I tried to recreate this a little bit. I heard about it first by Philip K. You build like a couple of bricks, or in this case he built like 6 for each row, and then built with them to create this wall. Did the same for the floor and added little bits of rubble. As you can see, it's really effective, and he hasn't actually added like too much damage, and he hasn't really used a noise modifier, which I did. But looking at these, it makes me feel that I should look into crack alphas and texturing. I use DD. This material ID thing is a godsend, and it sort of made me rethink of the use of colour maps. So you'd block out colours, you'd be able to mask that in your UVs. The vines is this. It was in the foliage map because I was having a look around at the way that they built it, and these pieces are all modular. Really, I should have looked at this before I started building anything. It taught me a lot. So quickly, this is the concept for the workflow. Points towards the focal point. Got it back. I compared it to Bioshock Infinite. You can see there's a hell of a lot of decals. This has caused me a load of problems. I didn't realise that draw calls, each decal made a draw call. So I thought it would stack up like, say, this brick would, like where there's 500 of them, just copy it over and over again. I thought it would do that. It hasn't. It's made one for each one. I'm guessing that makes sense because it would make a different sort of projection upon this surface for each different element. So it kind of makes sense, but I didn't think of it like that at the time, and I didn't research it. I didn't check, obviously, because otherwise I wouldn't have done that. So it was blocked out with all these different pieces. These different pieces were exported out into Max. In Max, I took those pieces for scale. I then created high poly for them, baked a normal map from them, and then I came across Dedo. Dedo takes all these maps and merges them together. Greg said in feedback to add a bit of variation to this brick. To do that, I did run it back through Dedo because it has presets, and I could do it on all 5 variations of the wall that I had. I then also, I'll just show you what that came out as. So you got this, and then added a cloud surface which has a bit of darkness and a variation in darkness and low lights. These were then meshed out in this level. I used decals I use vertex painting, which I'll show you. You can see, sort of, there's a height map applied to it, so it's only going in the grades where it's sort of black. If I ramp up this, then it'll go over it and onto these little bits. I can then make a little bit of it wet if I'd like, and then if I wanted to add height to it, I'd just pick the blue channel, which I've applied a world bump offset to, and I can raise it a little bit. This isn't ideal. Chris Albert showed me. The problem with it is it doesn't create a collision. So if a player is like walking on it, his foot will go through it. It's not too bad considering it's sand, but it's not ideal really. Another problem we get with it is this. It sort of breaks unless you're looking at it at the right angle. So this vert sort of pulls away from these verts, like they're not connected or welded or whatever. It's simple enough to fix, it's just a pain in the ass. You can see this is sort of flapping in the wind, like randomly. You've got these vines as well, they sort of dangle around, and if you shoot them they'll wobble and whatever else. This frame rate is not just because I'm recording. I tried the foliage map recording earlier and it was going at 50 FPS. I have no idea what it is really doing this. I think it's the decals that are causing all those draw calls that's the problem. Light shaft, I've got two dominant lights, which is a problem. It's come up as several errors. I don't think it's what's causing the FPS drop, because I've deleted one, rebuilt it, and it doesn't make any difference. The reason for having two dominant lights is I wanted a light shaft here and I wanted a light shaft down here, because it's all well and good having it up there, but if you come down here and it's like boring light and you know, no good. So instead of using the cube map, because I wanted to have a dynamic reflection of the player, because if he's walking over this area you want to be able to see it. This is really useful because it's dynamic and it will show the player, whereas a cube map will take a picture or a prefab, and that is the image that it will reflect. It's useful in some things. It's definitely more efficient than this, but you know, this does a trick and it's not that heavy, I don't think. The first one alerts between this and this. This will paint on via this height map, so that it can go up 20 units. If I wanted it to go down, I'll put it in this one. Whee! And it goes. What's that? Physics asset. Cool. This is the mesh which makes up all of these things that are used in splines. There's an issue with the spline actor in some instances. When there's a decal on it, occasionally there'll be like show a better example of where it's annoying. Like here, there's a decal projecting onto it, and it's like this is spazzed off up into the air. Spline actor is incredibly useful for this sort of thing. So it gives me a lot of flexibility of where I'm going to position things and where they're going to rest. It's not too good for like how it would rest physically, because it's not dynamic and it won't sort of drop to the ground. And some of these, like that, wouldn't bend quite like that. I'd have to sort out the curve and that sort of stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. I guess I could show you this quickly. just got for now, but I won't go through that. So this is masked off by this, and it becomes that colour, and then it's fine. So this will be how frequent it will flash. At the moment I've just got it set to 1, but I could set to 5 and it'll be like long fire particles. It's really simple distortion effect. It's pretty much a YouTube video that just explained everything and just followed that word for word. I didn't really adapt it at all. I should have really. So the lights flash, which I'm not sure. Yeah, just right click, set colour, and come up with like pretty much sums it up anyway. Thanks for watching.